Right, 6 fairly trivial examples, but different examples on how to use SOHCAHTOA to solve a problem involving a right-angled triangle, a missing side, and 2 other bits of information. And in all of these cases, I'm going to use the same process. I want you to have a look at the process, practice it for yourself, find some questions for yourself, practice on these if you like, and make sure that you are fully competent and quite practiced and really confident in using this process every single time. And the process uses SOHCAHTOA. Sine of an angle is opposite over hypotenuse. The cos of an angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan of an angle is equal to opposite side divided by the adjacent side. So in question 1, we've got a right angled triangle. Angle's 40. There's a hypotenuse, and we need to find one of the short sides. So the first thing we do every single time is label our sides, and we do that by looking at the angle, deciding which one's the adjacent, which one's the hypotenuse, and the other one is our opposite side. So in this question, I don't have any information about the adjacent, and it's not the one I need to find. So let's cross that out. And what I'm left with is opposite and the hypotenuse. So I look in my SO, my CAH, and my TOA to see where O and H are, and it's in SO. And that means that I need to use the sine of an angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So write that down, and then substitute in the values that I know. The angle is 40, opposite side is the x, the unknown bit, the one that we've got to find, and the hypotenuse is 10. Now we rearrange that formula to make x, the bit that we need to find, the subject of it. So we multiply both sides by 10. The right hand side is just x, and the left hand side will be 10 times sine of 40. And I've missed the times sign out. It's not needed. And if we use our calculator to do that calculation, 10 times the sine of 40, sine 40, is equal to 6.42876097. It's a little bit redundant writing out that as the answer. So in all of these examples, I'm going to round to 3 sig fig, and that's what you should do most times, unless the question says otherwise. And I want you to see that that answer of 6.42 and the rest of them is the same as 10 sine of 40. The calculator already knows that there's a time sign there, which wasn't before, but it gives exactly the same answer. So we don't need to write the times in. And so there we have it. The answer is x is equal to 6.43 to 3 sig fig. Okay, in the second example, I've got 42, this one. I've got 42 angle, x and 11. And so the first thing I do is decide whether I want SOHCAH or TOA. So I need to label my sides. I know where H is. The adjacent side is the other side that makes up the angle, and the opposite is the other short side. So opposite's not in it. What I've got left is A and H. There's A and H. So we look at SOHCAHTOA and we decide which one we want, and it's cos. There it is. Cosine of the angle is adjacent over hypotenuse, and we write that down. That's our formula. Then we substitute into our formula. 42 is the angle. Adjacent side we don't know, so that's x, and the hypotenuse is 11. And then we rearrange our formula to make x the subject. So we multiply both sides by 11. So x is equal to 11 cos 42, or 11 cos 42 is equal to x. And x is going to be equal to, calculator time, there's our calculator, cancel the previous one, and we've got 11 times, or just cos 42, and equals 8.17 to 3 sig fig. So that's our answer, 8.17 to 3 sig fig. Next one, bottom left. We've got to label our sides, name them, and to do that, look at the angle that we've got. We've got the angle of 44, so this one is my hypotenuse, the other side that makes up the angle is adjacent, and the other short side is the opposite. So I haven't got the hypotenuse in this case, I've got O and A. So we need to look at SOHCAHTOA to decide where OA comes, and it's in the TOA look. So I'm going to write down tan of the angle is equal to opposite over adjacent, then substitute in the values that I know. The angle is 44, the adjacent is the unknown x, and opposite is 10, so it's 10 over x. Then we rearrange this formula so to make x the subject, and then we plug that in the calculator, and that's our answer. So to rearrange this one, I need to multiply both sides by x and divide both sides by tan 44, and I get x is equal to 10 over tan 44. Calculator time, 10 divided by tan of 44 is equal to 10.4 to 3 sig fig. 10.355, 10.4 to 3 sig fig. There you go. And so we put that in as our answer, 10.4, 3 sig fig. And the fourth example, top right look, 46, x and 11. So as normal, label our sides, draw the angle in. H is the longest side, the hypotenuse, opposite the biggest angle. Adjacent is the other side making up the angle, and 10 is the other short side. So A is not involved because I've got 11 and x, my O and my H are involved. So we look in SOHCAHTOA and we see that over H is in the sine. So we write down sine of the angle alpha is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Then we substitute our values. The angle is 46, opposite is 11, H is our hypotenuse is x. That's the unknown bit. Once we've got our formula with the values in, we need to rearrange it to make x the subject. So multiply both sides by x, divide both sides by sine 46, and I've got x is 11 divided by sine 46. Calculator time to find out what x is equal to. Calculator says 11 divided by sine of 46 is equal to 15.3 to 3 sig fig. 15.3, 3 sig fig. 15.3, 3 sig fig. Okay, and the fifth example, this one. X, 12, 48. It's a right angled triangle. We need to find a missing side, the hypotenuse in this case, and we know an angle and another side. So I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA. So label my sides. Adjacent next to my angle, hypotenuse the longest side, opposite is the third side, the shorter one. And so I've got A and H, so it's K. There's the A, there's the H, so it's the cos of the angle this time. And so I write down cos of angle is A over H, substitute my values in, angle's 48, the adjacent side is 12, and x is my unknown. Rearrange it to make x the subject, and to do that, I multiply both sides by x and divide both sides by cos 48. So I get x is 12 divided by cos of 48. So x is equal to, calculator time, plug the numbers in the calculator, 12 divided by cos 48, that's cos, and 48, and the answer is equal to 17.93 sig fig. 17.93 sig fig. And there we have it, 17.93 sig fig. That's our penultimate answer. And so on to the last example then. This one. The side that's missing is the opposite one, x. So what have we got? What do? We label the sides, and we do that by looking at the angle. We have the hypotenuse, which is not involved in this question. We've got the opposite side, x, which we've already said, and A is adjacent to this angle because it's the other side with the hypotenuse that's making this angle up. So there you go. So we've got O and A this time. So we look at our SOHCAHTOA. Where's the OA? It's there in the TOA. So we write down tan of the angle is equal to opposite over adjacent, and then substitute in our values. So tan of 50 is x over 11. X is the opposite, A is 11. Then we rearrange it to make x the subject, so we multiply both sides by 11 to get 11 tan 50 is equal to x, or x is 11 tan 50. So that's what we plug into our calculator. X is 11 tan 50. Now we press equals, and that tells us what the answer is. Round it to 3 sig fig, 13.1. So 13.1 is the answer. X is 13.1 to 3 sig fig. There you go. 6 examples. Finding the missing side. We did exactly the same process every single time. Label our triangle. Decide what's involved in the question. Look at our SOHCAHTOA. In this case it was opposite and hypotenuse. So O and H appears there. And then we need to use the sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Write down the formula. Substitute in our values. Rearrange to make the missing side the one that we need. as the subject, and then get our calculator out and plug it in. Round the answer to 3 sig fig unless the question states otherwise. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a look at my other videos. Bye for now.